The Galactic Council called it Operation Compliance. To them, it was an act of discipline, not war. Humanity had been expanding too quickly, spreading beyond its assigned sectors, refusing to pay the so-called stabilization taxes that funded the Council's endless bureaucracy. The humans called those taxes what they truly were: extortion. But the Council didn't tolerate disobedience. Not from anyone. So they sent the Voth Dominion Fleet, a peacekeeping force of 60 warships, to the Terran colony of Synos 9, a lush world of forests and oceans, home to 12 million human settlers. The fleet's orders were simple: make an example. Admiral Kuroth of the Voth gave the command with a flick of his talon. Orbital cleansing. Efficient. Quick. Their screams are irrelevant. From orbit, beams of ultraviolet fire cut through the night. Cities evaporated. Oceans boiled. The lush green world turned black. The Voth broadcast the destruction across the galactic net, a warning to all who might defy the Council's authority. When the smoke cleared, a single transmission escaped. The ruins of Synos 9, a weak, fractured human signal, barely a whisper through the static. This is Governor Mason of Synos 9. To Earth Command. Tell them. The Council wants control. Tell them they brought fire to us. Then silence. The Voth laughed. The Council recorded the incident as a disciplinary measure successfully executed. The galactic powers nodded in approval, pleased that order had been maintained. They did not see the ember that had been lit. They did not understand what it meant when Earth heard. 2. The Council's delusion. The Council met 2 weeks later in the shining halls of Virelian Prime, a city of silver towers floating above the clouds. Representatives from 50 races gathered around the Grand Chamber, holograms shimmering with smug satisfaction. Councillor Tavar, a Sirathan with eyes like molten glass, addressed the chamber. Humanity must learn its place. Expansion breeds chaos. The destruction of Synos 9 will restore order. Applause echoed. Some smiled. Some sipped crystalline drinks. A junior diplomat asked timidly, "What if Earth retaliates?" Tavar's laughter rippled through the chamber. Retaliate? With what? Their merchant fleets? Their colonial patrols? The humans are soft. They negotiate. They plead. They compromise. Their fleets are outdated. Their admirals bureaucrats in uniforms. Murmurs of agreement filled the air. The Cathal representative added with a sneer, "They'll complain in your courts, send envoys, maybe demand reparations, the same way they always do. Humans bark, but never bite." Laughter again. In the shadows of the chamber, a silent observer, an intelligence officer of the Kestrin Accord, transmitted a report to his superiors. The humans are quiet. Too quiet. The report was ignored, because silence, in the Council's mind, meant submission. They didn't understand that silence was Earth thinking, and when Earth thought, stars burned. 3. The silence before the storm. For a month, the Sol system went dark. No signals in or out. No traffic through the jump gates. No ambassadors answered calls. The galactic media speculated wildly. Earth sues for peace. Internal human political turmoil. Retaliation impossible. Terrans lack the capacity. But out on the far edge of the Orion Arm, something stirred. Scout probes vanished in Terran space. Listening stations went offline. Merchant ships that dared to approach Sol reported seeing shadows, massive constructs, silent and black, drifting like specters between the stars. Then the whispers began. A Voth reconnaissance ship intercepted a transmission, a coded human broadcast repeating endlessly in binary. Control is illusion. Fire is truth. At first, the Council dismissed it as a threat display, the kind of posturing smaller species sometimes attempted before yielding. But then came the first report that changed everything. The Council patrol ship VSS Harakar, while on standard border patrol, encountered an unidentified vessel near the neutral rim. Its logs were transmitted before destruction. The footage lasted only 12 seconds. A human ship, matte black, no registry, no visible markings, emerged from hyperspace. Its hull shimmered with shifting light, absorbing scans and scattering sensors. Before the Harakar could hail, the human ship opened fire with a weapon unseen in galactic warfare. The Voth crew didn't even have time to scream. The recording ended with a flash of white and the words, "We remember Xenos 9. The Council tried to suppress the footage. It leaked within hours, and then finally the galaxy began to understand. The silence had ended. Ivo, Earth awakens. They called them the Black Armada. One by one, they emerged from the void, ships of terrifying design, each bearing the insignia of the Terran Defense Network. No banners, no ceremony, just cold, methodical movement. From Titan, shipyards, from the Martian forges, from the hidden yards beneath Europa's ice, came dreadnoughts that dwarfed anything the Council had ever built. Every hull was black. Every ship was silent, each named after a fallen colony: Cynos, Vigilant, Kepri, Solace, Arcadia. And at their head, the flagship TDS Vengeance, commanded by Admiral Lyra Cortez. She stood before her officers, eyes like steel. "They wanted control," she said, voice steady over the comm. "They wanted obedience, but they gave us fire. So we'll give it back, until their stars forget their names." And with that, the Armada moved. Within 3 days, the first Council worlds burned. The Voth Dominion's outer colonies, gone. Orbital strikes so precise they left statues standing amid fields of glass. The Cathal shipyards at Arasis, vaporized. The Sirothan military outpost at Lurn 4, atmosphere stripped in seconds. Human fleets did not demand surrender. They did not broadcast ultimatums. They arrived, destroyed, and vanished. And every time, they left a message on the wreckage: Xenos 9. Remember. V. The galaxy tremble-spanic swept the Council. The great chamber that once echoed with laughter now trembled with fear. "How are they doing this?" cried Councillor Tavar. "How do they move unseen? Our fleets can't track them. Our worlds fall in hours." Reports poured in. A Terran strike group appearing above Voth Prime, neutralizing planetary defenses before vanishing into subspace. A convoy of Council ships ambushed in hyperspace by a human fleet that should not exist. Dozens of colonies broadcasting distress signals. And silence. The humans weren't just fighting. They were dismantling the Council's entire system of control. A captured fragment of Terran comms was translated. "They called us chaotic, unpredictable, disorganized. They were right. That's why we win." The Council declared a state of emergency. 50 fleets converged to defend the core worlds. Massive battle lines formed around Varelian Prime, the heart of the Galactic Council. Admiral Kuroth of the Voth, who once gave the order to destroy Xenos 9, now led the defense. "They will come here," he growled. "They always come for the heart. Let them. We will show them who commands this galaxy." He didn't know the humans had already arrived. Phi, Earth's Anseret. 0300 local time. The skies over Varelian Prime darkened. Sensors screamed. Hyperspace ruptured. The air shimmered with gravitational distortion. And then, they came. Thousands of human warships tore through the void, emerging like a storm of blades. Their hulls reflected no light, only the glint of flame from their thrusters. The Black Armada descended. Kuroth's fleets opened fire. Waves of plasma, torpedoes, kinetic shells, lighting up the void in desperate arcs. But the Terran ships moved with inhuman precision, weaving through the storm, cutting through formation after formation. The Vengeance led the charge, its spinal weapon, the Helios Lance, igniting with starfire. The beam ripped through battleships like paper, slicing through shields, atmosphere, and stone. On the ground, civilians looked up and saw their Council's symbol, the Great Spire of Varelion, shattered in a single strike. Admiral Cortez broadcast one message across all frequencies. Xenos 9 was a colony of gardeners, teachers, and children. You called it discipline. We call it murder. This is Earth's answer. Then the sky burned. Voth fleets collapsed. Sirothan cruisers imploded under orbital bombardment. The very atmosphere of Varelian Prime ignited as Terran plasma fire rained down. In 37 minutes, the seat of galactic control ceased to exist. The Council's war network, gone. Its fleets, shattered. Its leaders, vaporized. The galaxy's broadcast relays caught only fragments of what came next. Glimpses of human dreadnoughts drifting through the ashes, of Terran soldiers landing on smoldering ground, planting black banners over ruins, and over the static came, One phrase, spoken by millions of human voices in unison: Earth answers in fire. 7. The aftermath of fire. Weeks later, the flames still burned. The once mighty council was gone, its remnants scattered across refugee worlds. Survivors whispered of the Black Armada, of the silent ships that struck without warning and left no survivors. Entire species swore never to challenge humanity again. Others sent envoys bearing apologies and reparations. Gestures met with quiet indifference. In orbit above the ruins of Virelion Prime, the TDS Vengeance hovered in silence. Admiral Cortez stood at the viewport, watching the glowing remnants of the Council's capital drift into nothingness. Her first officer approached. "The galaxy will never forget this, Admiral." Cortez didn't look away. "Good. They shouldn't." He hesitated. "What now?" She turned slowly. "Now we rebuild, on our terms, and if anyone ever seeks control over Earth again," she glanced toward the burning horizon, "they'll remember what control costs." The whispered lesson centuries later. Children across the galaxy would learn of that day. They would learn how the Council once ruled everything, and how it vanished in a storm of Terran fire. No one dared to claim authority over humanity. Again, even the mention of Synos 9 brought silence. To alien rooms, among the stars, merchants and captains whispered old words in reverence and fear. Never provoke Earth, because Earth's vengeance was not rage. It was not chaos. It was the cold, deliberate will of a species that refused to kneel again. They had wanted control. They had demanded obedience. But when they struck at humanity, they forgot one thing: Earth does not yield. Earth answers, and Earth answers with fire.